Okay, meeting has been called to order by Tim, and I will go ahead and do roll call. Jerry Parkin,
Yes.
Tim Armstrong,
Yes.
Dave LaGrange,
Yes.
Ross Rethmeier,
Yes.
Jennifer Stover,
Yes.
Linda Oglesby. Yes. Linda Juckett, that's it.
Yes.
Okay, and Jill Lang, secretary, is here.
Oh, he doesn't have an agenda.
No, so since, Tim doesn't have an agenda,
Yeah, I don't have any of this stuff with me
so
right
you
now,
need the
so
vice chair
sorry.
to
Yeah.
write the motion, so then we can
Okay.
move forward if you don't mind.
We needed, first thing we need to do is have a motion to elect a secretary. If somebody would please, and since she's sitting on there, I think we ought to go with her.
Full motion to elect Jill as secretary.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to have Jill as our secretary. Again, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's time for the position again. And next, we need to elect a chair and vice chair. And Tim was elected chair for last year's meeting.
But I don't want to continue because I don't know that I'm gonna stay on board, so I don't wanna take it again.
All right.
I'll just put that out there so that, that doesn't follow me and then I bail out on y'all.
So we need to elect a chair and a vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I was gonna say, I can nominate to move the vice chair to chair.
Yes, I think that sounds like a very good idea.
Okay. And let's do it all in one motion. We also need to elect a vice chair.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Either that or Jennifer, you're in your second.
I'm
Let's
great at
all jump up and
nominating
volunteer. You wanna jump in?
Sure, why not?
All right.
people.
So we have nomination for chair and vice chair. Myself as chair, Ross as vice chair. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? All right, so we have a chair and vice chair. Tim, thank you for your service on it last year.
Sure. Sure.
And now we need to approve the consent agenda. You were all emailed that agenda. So does anybody have any objections to it? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to present the agenda.
Second,
I second.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And then you all received the minutes from last year's meeting. And I'm sure everybody went through those with a fine tooth comb to make sure. But we do need to approve those minutes. If I could have a motion to do so, please.
Full motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we got that stuff out of the way. And now we move on to elected officials' presentations. Every elected office holder in the county is provided the opportunity to come and address the group and talk about what's going on in their particular office and any needs they might have. And does anybody want to jump up and volunteer to be first?
I can go first.
All right, Jason.
Oh, no, she wants to be turned around.
So she can see you.
Say low battery.
I don't know what it's doing.
And there is a document in your packet from Jason's office.
Okay.
Obviously, we got a lot of techies in the room. Lizard. There you go. There you go. All right, Jason, floor yours.
Did you guys get my report okay? Do you have any questions on that? I'm with the sheriff's office, just to give you a rundown. You may already know this, some of you. We're sitting at about 22 employees right now. We're responsible for numerous things. We've got the jail that we're responsible for, dispatching, and overall law enforcement for the county and the unincorporated areas of the county. Since January 1st of this year, our dispatch center has fielded over 10,000 calls for service. I think 5,500 of those are deputy calls that come to the sheriff's office. We dispatch for multiple agencies throughout the county, Arlington Police Department, all the fire departments, Winterset Police Department, so they stay pretty busy. Jail's under capacity, we're real happy about that. County Attorney's Office does a real good job of getting people through. We're not warehousing inmates like used to be the problem around here sometimes. So we're getting them up to either treatment or prison or probation or whatever the courts have deemed necessary. Lots of good things going on. What I'm real happy about is turnover. We didn't lose a single person in 2025. And in this climate, as hostile as it is, I'm very happy about that. Everybody's doing a real good job of keeping to the mission and moving forward. Again, the jail's at low capacity, which is great news. That means we're not going to be asking for a jail anytime soon at all. Real happy about that. I've been dealing with the board when it comes to the upkeep on the jail. We stay on top of that, so your building is in good shape. It's an old building, but it's going to be fine. Other than that, do you guys have any questions or anything?
Anybody have questions for Jason? I have one question with the,
Okay.
like to move the police department out to this new field house. Is that giving you the rest of the building? Is that going to be enough to hold you for?
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be a good move. We get along great in the hall, but the office space we're pretty crammed in there. A lot of people, administrators forget to mention that they're out in cars 90% of their shift. And they're out in the cars. So you got 2 deputies out right now, for example, you got 2 city guys, you got 4 guys. They're in the cars. They're not at the office. But we could use the office space when we get in there. We have it. If Winterset was to leave, I believe we get about $10,000 revenue from them for rent. But we could easily fill that spot with emergency management's been talked about. We're trying to look for a spot for him. We got plenty of room for him if he needed to come out there. Our deputies could spread out. We'd have more room to work with when it comes to investigations and interrogations, stuff like that. But no, we're in pretty good shape when it comes to that. I think the city's 3-5 years away from that happening, so I haven't really thought much about it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you,
Thanks.
Jason.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Who's next? Don't make me choose.
I can go.
Okay, Michele, if you want to.
Sure.
If you want to spin her, yeah.
My name is Michele Brant. I am a newly elected auditor. I am familiar with the auditor's office as I was a board clerk and was elected by special election in September. Presently, we have a staff of 3 people, and then my role has taken on building and grounds, IT, and those things were, IT and HR were rolled up into the auditor's office previously. I do spend about 5 hours on average with IT, which we have now, that's been outsourced, so that's why the auditor has more of a role there. My focus is rebuilding. We have an all-new staff, other than Lance, my auditor clerk. So that's, it's a rebuilding year. Not only myself, but my first deputy and my second deputy, and my elections deputy for that matter. We have a great team, and I focus, and I think they support me in this, on building communication and teamwork. It's not just the auditor work that you go through, it is actually being the supervisor, the manager, the coordinator, making sure that everyone continues to communicate, which has been very problematic I would say in the recent history of the auditor's office. I'm averaging, more hours than I hope is required in the future. Again, it's a learning experience for me. What's been going on for us is we got taxes out. We have doing a lot of repair and auditing of our software systems, and that is just finding maybe things that weren't maintained or answering questions that have been asked of us. So it is a really busy time. And do you guys have any questions for me?
So when you say 5 hours, is that a week or?
That's a week for just like, oh, we ordered a new laptop or a little desktop. Can you go plug it in? And one time I went and checked the backup over the annex, and like just my computer's giving me fits. Can you look at it, sort of thing? Because again, we do have a good support system from the IT provider, but it's not practical to wait for the ticket time when I could walk out and put my admin in. Oh, yep, there you go, you're fine. I mean, it's kind of literally a daily cost benefit analysis to that employee's downtime to my, my just popping out and popping in. That's, if I could, that explains it.
Other questions?
Do you feel the morale in your office is better recently?
On its face, I feel like when I sense tension, we just go right to it. Just bring them in. Hey, we've had two team building meetings, and triangulation is not allowed. So that is, and again, I know that sounds like a soft skill, but it's a super important soft skill considering the turmoil that we've had. So again, trying to stay on that it takes time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just curious if you felt that it had turned around like pretty quick or if it was still taking time.
I feel great about my staff. I mean, again, it would be inappropriate to say if I didn't, but I'm telling you I have a lot of confidence that they're happy, and if not, they're very good actresses, right? Because you never know what you don't know. So all I can do is encourage, candid feedback, honesty, that kind of thing. So thank you for that question. Anything else?
All right, thanks, Michele.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Madam Treasurer, how'd you like to go next?
Oh, sure.
I was going to volunteer, but
Wow. Let's see here.
I did not get these.
excuse me.
Oh, what's going well, so, I'm Barber, I'm the treasurer. I guess I'm just gonna say thank you to all of you for stepping up and volunteering and being out here in the cold night. Appreciate it. So some of the exciting and new things in the treasurer's office, I'm very excited for, and I'm very excited to share with the public, is that the DOT and on both the motor vehicle and driver's license side, they're rolling out a new system. It's called MPD 360. So I was all on board for getting some new things, and so that is a free cost to us, so that's good. And so in the treasurer's office, on the driver's license side, soon you'll see like a 50-inch TV up on the wall, and soon in January, I think middle of January, there'll be a kiosk, and you'll be able to walk up to that, make an appointment, check in, check out, that kind of thing. It's all really, really cool. It's great. So also with that, hopefully by springtime, we'll not just have one person that's able to do drives. We're actually going to have 3 people. So then also that means that 4 people are going to be able to do driver's license. So then that means that that driver's license door will be open again. So that is exciting. With that also, I would really love to change the layout of the office, but we'll see what we can do. Because with that driver's license, with there being 2 other people, I want to get another driver's license station, so we have 2 instead of just 1. So we can have more appointments. So on the motor vehicle side, there's some pretty fun facts, I think, anyway, for Madison County. I just did a few months. In June of 2024, the titles that we issued 449 titles. 423 of those were issued to Madison County residents, 26 were non-residents. In 2025 of June, so we went from 449 to 724. So we're hopping. So 589 are issued to Madison County residents, 135 are issued to non-residents. So that's definitely something to think about. And with that non-resident, then we also get a revenue portion of that, because any county or other county person that comes in, it's a $10 charge, which I'm not going to say that we have been awesome about, because it's been a learning curve to click those buttons and get that $10, but my staff is going to do much better about that. In July of 2024, we went from 468 to July of 2025, we went to 714. November, we're already to that. November 2024, 533, and we went to 700. So we are happy. And we are having a lot of people come down from Dallas County, from Polk County, pretty much everywhere are coming in. And hopefully, a lot of the surrounding counties around us are doing appointment only for titling as well as driver's license. And I would very much not like to do that, so I'm going to hold tight as much as I can and as long as I can. But if it gets to be too much, then we will have to unfortunately go to appointments by titling anyway. If you're just doing registration, you can of course walk in, but I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. So, the next stage is just report that's based on the counties comparable to Madison County, like the sizes and stuff, and then the next, a little bit further down, is the counties that are around us. So it just compares to, okay, 39 and 40, 42 and 43, that is like ranking wise for population. So, and then if you vehicle and you follow it across fiscal years 24, 25, and then the change. So, if you look at Madison County, that's in the blue on the right side of the page, if you look at the other ones, they're all pretty much in the 50s. We have 63 for Warren County, but Madison County is 84% change for vehicles and 67% change for drivers, 30% change in titles from year 24 to 25. So we are busy. The next part is just the ISAC salary survey, and I kind of highlighted the pink ones are the counties that have the size around us, the green are the counties that are around us, and then of course they're Madison County. So population-wise, we're 41st, and salary rank-wise, we are 56th. So myself, I'm still digging through the weeds with a lot of things, budget, and then also getting current to the fiscal year, or up to date, I should say. So that is a big taking. We have some issues, but we're getting there, and I'm working as much as I can, as hard as I can, on making sure that that Madison County knows that I'm on their side, and that they can trust me, and that I will do what I can.
Do you have any questions? What's caused the increase in the workload, the registrations, that thing?
So more people just buying vehicles, but then also because those other counties surrounding us are going to appointments, that means that they're driving it down here. So then that's also like driver's license. I know that's a very hot topic sometimes, that people don't like it that we're by appointment, but it really is for the best. Just because then you can get in, get out, and you don't have to wait for 3 hours at a time. Because there are some places that they say that they're walk-in, and they are walk-in, but you might be sitting there for a few hours. So,
When you make an appointment, how quickly is that turnaround time? Is that like a couple months or?
well, it just kind of depends. It really, honestly, it really does depend. I feel like right now we're already out until the end of December, so 2-3 weeks. Which, I mean, it seems like forever, but when you actually think of it, it's not that bad. But yeah.
All right, anything else for Kylee? Thank you. Matt, you ready to?
Yeah, all right. It's hard to, I know it's hard to practice, it's been a while. So I'm Steve Swanson, county attorney, I think I'm 5 in less than a year. So our office pretty much handles all the criminal complaints in the county, civil matters, mental health committals, juvenile court, probation. So we deal with a lot of different agencies. We deal with local law enforcement, all the different various places. We work with the HHS, the Health and Human Services for juvenile things, and China's and all those type of things. All the department heads, if they have any questions, always get calls about things like they spend a lot of time on fence disputes, for example. That happens a lot out here. So we've had a little bit of turnover in the office in the last year. We had our paralegal, there's 5 people in the office. We had our paralegal, she left to go to law school. She's out there in Pennsylvania right now. So I guess there's a trend of people from Iowa going to Pennsylvania. And we had one of our assistants leave she wanted to do more family law, so she's moved to Hope Law Firm. So we hired people, I think seems to be going pretty well with them. So far we got a paralegal with 30 years experience, so that was good to get some, so we didn't have to have a large learning curve. And then we got a lawyer with 5 years of experience, I think he has. So we got some pretty good experienced people, which is nice, so we're not training on the fly. Basically what we do is a lot of just pretty much if there's a legal question, we answer it, and we go to court quite a bit to deal with all the criminal actions and juvenile stuff and all of that. So, anyone has any questions?
Any questions? All right, sir. That was easy.
I'm the one that answers questions all the time. And you answer questions, come on.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Where's Brandy go?
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Hiding behind the post.
I think everybody got a little handout that I did. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a lot of people have no idea what all the recorder does or how much the recorder does. So I did outline a lot of the stuff that we do in the packet that I gave you. Our main thing is recording legal documents. We get over 60 different kinds of documents in our office not every day, but on a regular basis, and they're not all the same. So we have to analyze each document, make sure they meet document formatting standards, collect payment, work with attorneys, realtors, all sorts of things before these documents can go on record. Once they go on record, we send them off to the assessor's office, the auditor's office. We get military records also that go to the VA office. So most legal documents that have to do with your property come through our office first before they go anywhere else. So it's really important that we are super efficient and super accurate on what we do in our office. All of the documents go online the next day. So you have realtors and abstractors looking at those documents the next day. So it's, if you mess up, then they let you know, or if it's not there, they let you know. But that is the main thing that we do in our office. We also do vital records. So the people that are coming in for birth and marriage records because they need to get the star on their driver's license usually get sent over to our office to get those documents, and then they go back over there. So we have seen an increase in those lately also. The funeral homes, whenever someone passes away here locally, they request the records from our office too. So we get, unfortunately, a lot of those. We also do work with the Iowa DNR. We renew titles and do new registrations for boats, off-road vehicles, snowmobiles, all those things. ATVs are in renewal period right now, and I want to say that we had 1,700 off-road vehicles that were up for renewal this year. And I believe our boats were, I can't remember correctly, I want to say it was around 3,000 boats this spring that were up for renewal. And that's not all the ones that are registered here. That's just the ones that people are renewing every 3 years. So that gets busy every 3 years. We also work directly with the Department of Revenue when we collect sales tax for those new toys that everyone's buying, and the revenue stamps for when you buy a property. We collect all of that money, and then at the end of every month, we have to forward that on to those state offices. Military district charge records are recorded in our office also, and then we electronically send those to our local VA office, so he has them on file. But they do have to get recorded in our office before you can get your military exemption through the assessor's office as well. So we work directly with them in that process as well. We also have a lot of genealogy searchers here in Madison County, and they come to our office for all of that stuff too, because they're either searching for birth, death, marriage records. They all go back to around 1850, and we have all of those records in our office. So they come and do searches on family records. Sometimes they do the land searches, which we have those back to the 1840s. So we see a lot of that coming through. Right now, it's just me and my first deputy in my office. I've been there almost 19 years now. Angie has been with me for almost 5 years. We did lose a staff member in June to another job, which was completely understandable. As you can imagine, with the way the county has been going the last couple of years, we did decide that we are not going to hire another person for a while, for the foreseeable future. So we're going to save approximately, I want to say $83,000 for the county this year, for fiscal year 27. So I feel like that's huge. I think everybody thinks that's huge, right? Like it's kind of a big number. I did put on there the ISAC salary survey. Right now, the recorder's office is on page 2, and we are currently ranked at number 41 for population, and the salary is at 53. So we're a little bit under. It's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit under. I did put my salary worksheet on there, and you can see the comparison for what, if we went in at a 0% raise for fiscal year 27, you can see the total on there. I did go ahead and throw a 4% on there just because I wanted everyone to see the minimal amount that would raise it. You're looking at approximately $5,800 that would raise to give me a 4% raise, so I can show my deputy how much she is appreciated. She has experience. Experience is huge in the county offices. You have no idea until you've worked in one of these offices how much experience goes for everything. Like, you'll see it in the customers that come into our office. It's so, I don't know, rewarding to know that they come in there and they know that they're gonna get the answers, but we're gonna be able to tell them where they can go to get those answers. So I just wanted to show you that if we did a 4% raise for just us two, that's only a $5,800 rate or increase. in our total budget, which is probably one of the smallest in the county. And even with that raise, we're still saving the county $77,000, so something to think about. Thank you all for volunteering.
Any questions for Brandy?
How long has it been just you two?
Since June.
Since June?
So we thought about it for a while and wanted to see how it worked with just us two in there. And it's going really, really well. We've been able to offset our lunches and we work with each other really, really well on not taking vacation at the same time, things like that. Obviously, I was off for a couple weeks and she kind of was a rock star. She just took over and I didn't have to worry about it. And it was so nice that I trained her on all the things that needed to be done when I was gone. So I barely even had to call in and talk to her. Like, she just took over. And felt really bad that I didn't need to be needed. But it felt good too, because then I didn't have to worry about it. But yeah. So it's been since June.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've kind of thought about it for a few months and then we just kind of decided that right now is not a great time to hire someone, but also like I feel like it's going to get busier in the next year and a half, and we just kind of want to evaluate that before we jump into hiring someone and going through that training process right now. So.
Anything else? Thank you, Brandy.
You're welcome.
All right, we have all three supervisors here, so if any of you would like to speak, Jess or Heather or Diane, go ahead,
I'll
Heather.
say something. First of all, thank you, Brandy, for doing that,
For what?
for giving the taxpayers a break.
Oh,
That means a lot, so thank you so much for that hard work. As you guys know, the biggest complaint, and if you don't know, that we get as supervisors is property taxes. Probably number one, but close second is roads. So, I'll make it easier for you guys. I can't speak for the board, I'll speak for myself. I'm not asking for a raise at all this year, because we're like Randy, we're trying to figure out a way to lower property taxes, or at least slow down the increase for our folks. And the main reason too is, I don't know if you guys know that, but the legislature has been talking about capping property taxes as a whole, not the levy, the actual amount of money we can collect. So we don't want to be behind the eight ball and making drastic decisions in order to cram something in that the legislature wants. So we as a board is going to be looking at that, ways to save money. So I want to start by, asking for our 0%. We're hoping we can make things work with what we have, but that's something that's on the rise, and we don't know what the legislature is going to do. So I know they're talking about a 2% cap. That's not a lot of money to work with. So just wanted to do that with you there. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Heather. Jess?
Hi, I'm Jess Hobbs. Met most of you. And I appreciate Brandy and the efforts that she's making to reduce the burden for taxpayers as well. I think that there's a lot of room for improvement with how we're managing our facilities. I know we're talking, what you saw in the public health building that currently houses 2 employees. We have extra space in the courthouse. So we're gonna kind of try to reconfigure that and work more efficiently with our real estate and with our facilities. There's contract services. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of categories in that regard, that we can try to find more competitive options for those. And in regard specific to the wages, I appreciate the county employees and all the hard work that they're doing. I ran on the platform of freezing elected official salaries for 2 years. And I think that's what's best for the taxpayers until we can work together to straighten this out. It's an unfortunate byproduct for the first and second deputies to be tied to the elected official salaries. But I'm doing what the taxpayers elected me to do, and that would be to promote 0 raises this year.
Thank you.
For elected officials. Last year we gave 2.5% to all the county employees.
A little bit more for
Actually, union was 2 3/4, yeah.
Diane?
I have nothing to say.
Okay. Thank you all very much, and thanks for all you do for the county. I know it's not an easy job regardless of what some people might say, so it's much appreciated. Now our task is to determine what we will recommend to the Board of Supervisors for increases for the elected officials for the next fiscal year. And as just pointed out, that directly reflects down on the first and second deputies. And it sends a message, I think, to the other employees too, that, you know, there's opportunities here. We would rather have you stay in Madison County than come here and spend 6 months and get trained and then go to Dallas County or Warren County or something like that. So one thing I noticed is that cost of living for the year is just under 3%, 2.8 to 2.9 according to the federal government figures. And I'd also point out, you've all got a sheet in your packet that talks about the salaries for county sheriff. And it sets some pretty strong recommendations as far as what the sheriff is paid as comparison to surrounding counties and law enforcement in those other counties. I know in the past few years that I've been on this commission, we've attempted to ratchet that salary up, and we're still, I think, quite a ways under what it is supposed to be. So I'll just throw that out there, and then anybody have any questions, any suggestions on how we move forward?
So do we, this is my first time on this, do we set it for each department? Is that kind of how that works?
Set it for each elected official. So the 3 supervisors as 1 official,
Okay.
and then the treasurer, recorder, attorney, who am I missing? Auditor. That's kind of an important one. So those were also set aside. And I don't think at this point those elected officials, auditor, recorder, and treasurer are paid the same. I think there's, you know, some separation there, but we've worked to try and get them close to what's going on in comparable counties, and particularly the surrounding counties.
Sure, makes sense. And as far as, so like for the sheriff, do we have, like I see this, do we have any like hard numbers that would get us to where we need to be?
Jason Lee?
Here.
There he's going.
I was gonna leave it up.
Jason, do you recall what the numbers are as far as, I mean, at one point, a couple of years ago, I know we recommended a pretty significant range to get you up.
I say those figures on where I should be, or by the law, go by the law, where I should be one of those attachments.
And you took 0% last year.
Yeah, I volunteered 0.
Right, I remember that.
Was this it on the bottom one?
Yeah, that looks right. There's another one too.
It's at the back, the very bottom.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's like the second from the bottom. is what I think.
It's,
Sit down for you guys.
it's this one here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If you go by code, if you go by the
Oh,
code,
it's this one here.
these are the DPS officials in our county, that reside in our county, command staff. And the top 3 are the police chiefs that serve communities the same size as Madison County. Those are the 3 closest geographical cities of similar population. Those numbers are probably, Iowa Sheriff's and Deputies Association provided me those numbers. That's what their chiefs make in a year. Then you got the 3 command personnel of the state patrol, DPS, if you see that in the code. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
It does. So the current number for the sheriff's office is,
that 117 number I see?
yeah, I believe
117, 659.
yes. So you can still, see it's still substantially under what the code is saying we should be comparing it to.
And if we are out of compliance with the code, is there eventually a point at which there's some problems for our county?
I don't know about that. I do know that obviously the intent of the whole provision in the code is back to blue, from black back to police. And I think that in the past, they've seen several counties where the sheriff is way down as far as salary. They've been trying to get that up. You know, the other thing we need to keep in mind is the sheriff is obviously a law enforcement officer in the county. The county attorney is chief law enforcement officer in the county. So you've gotta look at that balance also.
Well, and, you know, if we're down here and these folks are up here, and if someday we need to have another sheriff or whatever, I suppose that'll factor into it as well.
Yeah. And again, that reflects the deputies to a certain extent. Linda, are you talking? We can't, you're muted, I think. Still muted.
Okay,
There
is
we
that
go.
better?
Yes.
All right. Let me just, if I may, step in here just a little bit. I had Sheriff Barnes send me some stats for our county, and some of them are really quite an improvement. He has a very, very good team, and his team is good because he is a good leader. That is bar none. And Jason, I'm going to correct you just a little bit. Well, I'm not going to correct you, but you had 12,000 calls, and that is in the last 11 months. So we really haven't even finished December yet. So that criteria, you know, those numbers won't come in until probably the middle of January. But he doesn't have 22 people in his office. I think we'll gain a lot of space, and we'll be able to spread out a lot more when the city police, you know, move over to their new building probably in another year and a half. 10 full-time deputies, 1 part-time deputy, 5 full-time dispatchers, 4 full-time jailers, 1 part-time jailer, civil clerk receptionist, 22 employees in total, and that really backs up the stat of that our county is really growing. And we have a lot of new people moving into our county, and that is also, you know, stats with the DOT and our treasury young lady who did, you know, her presentation. But you've got, you know, our criminal stats are down. We were 71 in 2024, we're 62 this year. The drugs are down. We were 21 in 2024, we're 16 this year. Mental health, his sheriffs and Jason, they do a mental health program. And that's also because of the supervisors and their integral, you know, piece of making sure that our county is mentally healthy. If we have an issue, we get that person where that needs to be and the support that they need. Also, the intoxications are down. They were 11 in 2024. They're 7 so far in 25. Juvenile, 62 in 2024. They're 48 this year. The big one that kind of really took me away was traffic stops. So there were 1,544 in 2024, and there's 3,507. So that has doubled. The secretary, what was I trying to say here? I forgot my train of thought. It's only going on 1 o'clock in the morning. So the thefts are also way down. They were 126 in 2024, and they're 68 today. And I know our county, like every county in Iowa, you know, we have our struggles with revenue. But as the young lady also said, with the, I believe, auditor's office, that they are doing a savings, quite a bit of savings of, correct me if I'm wrong, 58,000 or 53,000. I think that should kind of maybe transfer over to the sheriff's department and utilize that for raises. And I would recommend at least a 3% raise. I just think we've got to get caught up. You know, when you get so far behind, it's like the gas fuel tax. You get so far behind, you got to jump up in bigger increments to get him caught up. So that would be
Okay, thank you. So you would suggest a 3% increase or more for the sheriff?
At least. You don't wanna lose the sheriff, right? We don't wanna lose him because he's got a good team. A lot of times when you lose that management, those deputies will go with that person. We see that happen in our business all the time. You lose an administrator, next thing you know, the DON's out the door and the dietary staff. So you lose that sheriff, chances are you're gonna lose part of these deputies also. And he has an excellent team. Our numbers are going down and our population is going up. So we're gonna have some real challenges in the next 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
You bet.
Brandy, your ask was 4%,
Yes.
and then supervisors is 0%, correct? I'm okay with 0. I'll take 0. And then we don't have an auditors, didn't ask yet, okay? All right, I'm just trying to catch up here.
That's fine.
If I can just let you guys, I mean, this isn't, nothing's official, like, nothing's happened yet, but I will say, because you had asked if there's any possible ramifications for not keeping up with the back of the new stuff. The Wayne County Sheriff has sued Wayne County.
Yes.
Because he didn't get, so I don't know, I'm not saying Jason would do that or put anything in his mouth or anything, I'm just saying so there is something going on with that, it's not complete yet or anything, so I don't know how we'll end, but that has
He is
happened.
suing
Yeah, he is suing Wayne County,
Yes.
because he didn't.
So that is a ramification in a
A
sense.
potential, I don't know that Jason would do that, I'm not gonna say that he would do that, I'm just saying that is a potential out there, maybe if he wasn't here and someone else came in, they would, I don't know. So I'm just saying, it was asked earlier if there was any potential possible problems with that, and that would be one that's out there.
So, and then now, how does that work? Like, let's say if we did a or whatever percent raise for the sheriff, how far down that goes? Just down to the chief deputy, and then the rest are union? Is that how that works?
No, Jason's gone now. I don't know how many,
If we give a raise to sheriff, how far does that trickle down?
yeah, I would assume, it officially would trickle down to the first and second deputy is my understanding. But I would assume too that you'd see some more trickle down to other deputies in the office.
If I may,
Yes,
it's the first deputy gets a percentage of the sheriff, and the rest are teamsters.
okay.
So they.
All the rest
usually-
are Teamsters?
So they will negotiate with us.
So it's a union deal.
Okay.
They're unions.
So, yeah, what we do with the sheriff is gonna have no impact on the rest of the deputies except for that first deputy. Thank you for that. Any other comments, suggestions, or questions?
Are we sticking with the sheriff or can we jump to other?
We can jump to everybody.
You want to decide on one first and then move?
Yeah, that's what I was asking, it doesn't matter.
We can do that.
Pretty easily.
Yeah, probably would, yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're not here all night.
So again, Jason requested no increase last year. And that's what we ended up doing, is giving him no increase. The year before, he got a pretty significant one, if I remember, and I don't recall the exact percentage. I know that this board represented or recommended, I think, 17%.
Well, because the state mandated that we had to do that. We had to-
Exactly. And I think then the supervisors, they have total control. They can cut back on any of our suggested salary increases.
So these are recommendations that we give the supervisors, supervisors act. Okay.
So I'm not sure 4% is enough for the sheriff to keep moving him up so that it gets closer and closer to that level that the legislature's talking about.
If you do the math of the if this 117 number I'm looking at is correct, and if you take the average of the city of Indianola, 5 Newton, and then the state patrols, that difference is like $27,000, which is 23%.
Yeah. And while I think Jason is worth every bit of a 23% increase, I think that would be a tough sell in the county because there are a lot of people that don't equate good service with good pay. And I think that's something we probably need to keep in mind too.
And I'm not.
No,
I'm just suggesting that that number divided by that number gives you that
Yeah.
percentage. And, but I do think if our ultimate goal is to get closer to this, then the 4% number isn't gonna get you there. Because the other ones are gonna go up X percent too, so.
I think it's more realistic, you know, that 4% is probably realistic, given the climate that we're in right now. It's gonna be hard to do more than that. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it, but I think it's gonna be really hard.
I think you're right. I think, you know, you've got a balance of things here. You want to keep good public servants. And not only the elected ones, but the ones that are the first deputies who oftentimes will move into that position when the elected official steps down. So you want to make sure you've got good people there. I mean, we've seen that in a number of offices here in Madison County where the first deputy has moved up and, you know, hit the ground running. There's not been a follow-up.
And we've seen what happens when people leave and there's not an experienced person to step in. It's not good.
Yeah.
And the county's not running well and it's a problem. So yes, if we can have continuity and people staying long-term is ideal, certainly.
So it sounds like what you're saying is we ought to do 4% across the board for the elected officials. And then since the supervisors have requested 0, we can keep them at the 0%.
I'm comfortable with that, yes.
And as a part of my campaign, I did say I would not take any more than the CPI, which I told they would be 3. So you can leave me down lower too.
So you'll take 3%?
Well, yeah, it's between 2.8 and
2.8,
3.2. So
take the average.
yeah, that's the average. But again, so I would not accept a 4% raise.
Okay. So for the sake of, I'm sorry, go ahead, Linda.
I have a question. Is there, within the code, and I'm not familiar with it, but is there within the code or within our county, regs that we could give 4% at the beginning of the year and then revisit this again in June and see where the county is financially to maybe give him, you know, another kick up July 1st? Is there
No,
I don't think
it'd
that's
just go into the budget
Yeah.
for the following fiscal year in July.
Yeah, so the supervisors have to deal with budget numbers. So if you, I mean, it would be difficult to go and say, okay, 4%, but halfway through the year, we're gonna reevaluate and increase it another 5%. I think it's gotta be done on an annual basis, is my understanding.
It has to be, yes.
Thank you, Jim.
We can't.
So let's throw this out for consideration. County auditor at 3%. The other elected office holders at 4%, and the supervisors, since they requested no raise, at 0%.
But in all reality, the board could vote for 0%.
Sure.
Correct.
Yeah, the board can
They've
do what they want.
indicated they will.
We understand that. But this would be a recommendation to the board.
That's what the goal is tonight, is to give the recommendation.
So was that a motion?
No, as chair, I can't make a motion, Tim, but you can.
Well, my motion would be a little bit different because I would say 3% straight across. And do out, not the supervisors. Because they said 0, so I would say 0.
Okay.
So the motion for 3% across?
Motions for 3% across the board with 0 for the supervisors. Is there a second for that? Is there a second? Dies for lack of second, Tim.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I've got to run, guys, I'm sorry.
No, you go for it, we understand.
So I'll talk with you later, thank you.
Thank you. Well, can we go back then and look at 4% for all except the auditor and 0% for the supervisors?
Yep, I'll make a motion for that.
We have a motion, is there a second? Second by Linda. Any further discussion? Dave?
Would like to just revisit the sheriff's end of things, only because last year he took 0. He was the only one who took 0, 5, right?
Well, it was, there were zeros across the board.
Was it zeros all the way across the board? Oh, okay. I don't know, my thing is if we're gonna eventually get, we're getting nowhere.
He did 0 last year because he had such a big bump up the previous year.
Is that what it was?
Jason's taxes, I think.
Yeah, I think that was,
Okay, so 2 years ago, there was a large increase?
2 years ago, he had a big bump.
Okay.
Yeah, he was,
So
I
what
think,
does-
go ahead, I'm sorry, Linda.
I'm sorry, it's hard to do it when you're on visual, so virtual, but if you could help me, the accountant, our accountant there. So what's 5% if we gave Jason 5%? What does that get us to, that number?
So if that number of 117, 659 times 1.05, be 123, 541.
So that's $5,000 increase, right? A year, a little, give or take.
Give or take 6.
Which is getting him, what, within 20,000 of,
It would be about 21,000 away from the 144 average.
Did Jason say a number?
He didn't really give
He
it.
didn't say what he was asking for.
No, but I think he's so far behind.
Yeah.
Like our chair says, if you don't start to get him caught up, he's gonna go farther behind, right? And that's when you're gonna lose. Because eventually he's gonna say, I'm out and I'm gonna go to Polk County, all right, you know? I mean, so, and I think he loves Madison County, and I sure love my sheriff. I mean, he does a great job. He comes when anybody calls. When I call, you know, I'm out on the farm by myself. He's very responsive. The whole department is, you know, so, I mean, if you get him at least to 5%, that helps immensely, you know, for this first year. So, and you've got that cash left over from that auditor who is not gonna hire any additional staff.
that's
and we're
recorder.
growing.
Yeah.
Recorder,
Yeah.
pardon me, sorry. I don't know all the new kids.
Brandy
in the-
needs some
in the
credit.
office. There you go.
However, I don't wanna give Brandy's money away to Jason. I mean, we could give Brandy a larger raise because she's doing the work now of 3 people, 2 people are doing the work of 3.
Yeah.
So there's that issue also, of her not retiring because of.
Well, that's a problem you face when you've got good people in these offices. Are they getting paid enough now? I mean, there's no doubt. If they went into private business, they probably wouldn't have the health benefits they have now, but they would certainly have probably better salaries. So there's a balancing act.
Just to feed off of that a little bit, first deputies in Dallas County, 25 minutes away, make $85,000 to $97,000 per year. So it would be nothing for anybody's deputy here to say, I'm going to take the commute, because that extra money is paying for their time that it takes to drive there. So I'm just saying, it could be that easy to lose a really good, experienced employee if we're not taking care of them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, a lot.
Just a thought.
Good point.
That would be my suggestion, is give Jason, Sheriff Parks 5%. And did we not lose one of our deputies to Dallas County this year?
I don't think
Did we
It
have
was
a
the,
deputy
I
on
think it
Dallas
was
County?
just at the
Not
table.
in the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Pardon? Yeah,
He did.
true. So Linda is recommending 5% for the sheriff. You want to take that one separately, or do you want to get them all on the table and vote one time for everything?
And then is one of the county attorney in there too?
Yep, the county attorney has got to be, as the chief law enforcement officer in the county, I think we've got to make sure he's, an inch above Jason anyway. At least that's what we did a couple of years ago, was just said, hey, he is still the chief law enforcement officer. And that was when Matt Schultz was here. Too many Matts.
Well, this is Stephen.
Stephen, yes.
Sorry about that. I've been called much worse.
So where's county attorney's salary at right now?
128, 16. Which, if you break that down by hour, which is kind of interesting, comes out to just over $60 an hour. Now, I don't know of any attorney that works for $60 an hour outside accounting.
They certainly don't bill that.
I just have all the county attorney's annual salary surveys. I just know our surrounding counties are mostly much bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know similar counties?
Similar counties.
Yeah, I think we ranked 56th, if I remember right, when I looked it up yesterday, and I bring my laptop with me.
They're generally lower than similarly sized counties. But
I think we're like 7, drop 7 basically from what our average is to where we should be. I mean, so we could probably argue a 5% increase across the board.
I know, I was gonna say, everyone's really in the same boat, you know, it's not just Jason, it's everybody.
And especially when you take into consideration this is a July 1st raise, not a January 1st.
Yeah, we've got a long
We're
time.
6 months, 6 months into the normal raise.
Yeah, I would prefer to see it all be the same, rather than giving one elected official more than the other, so it's my opinion.
So the only difference would be is that Michele said that she would not accept it.
Right, other than, yes, other than Michele.
So you suggest 5% across the board, 3% for the auditor, and 0% for the supervisors. And I think it's important that if an office holder says, I don't want a raise, or I want a small raise, that we accept it.
Yeah.
Because I think we had a little discussion on it last year, and that being kind of a mess. So would somebody make a motion that we do 5% across the board, 3% for the auditor, and 0% for the supervisors? And again, keeping in mind, they're gonna have the ultimate say in this. It's not gonna be us. It's our recommendation.
I would move to recommend that 5% for the county attorney across the board, except for the auditor, 3% supervisor, 3%.
All right, second?
I'm second.
All right, Linda seconds it. So the proposal on the table is 5% across the board, with the exception of the auditor at 3% and the supervisors at 0%. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I thank you for the discussion and thank you for the input from the elected officials, to all of you. That's valuable. We need to set the date for the next meeting. Generally, it's been a week earlier than it was this year, and I think Tim wasn't able to, well, yeah, he wouldn't have been here last week.
Because Tony was out in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was leaving an island or something.
He's not even here.
No.
No.
So we're looking
Thanks a
at,
lot, Tony.
who's got their calendar up? That would be November 30th? November 30th. So we'll set November 30th, which is Monday, at 6 o'clock, same location in 2026. Any other business or discussion? Have a motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Linda, seconded by Linda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Go to